So, yeah, hello guys. I want to talk to you about EXM Newsletter Subscription the cool way. But wasn't it an amazing presentation from Artem, isn't it? Um, I was splashed because we have JSS project in our company as well, and I think I can took many things from this presentation. Artem, it was awesome. But I do not have such complicated graphics, but many animations. It's really an honor for me talking to you today. The topic I present to you is not trivial. Newsletter subscription is mostly complicated, faulty, or based on individual customer requirements. Many Sitecore features must work together. And many Sitecore features maybe can have some bugs or something else. Today I want to show you a cool way how to handle that. Maybe my solution will not fit every customer needs, but it solves all the problems which occurred before Sitecore 9.1 when subscribing contacts directly to lists. Somehow lists are not indexed completely, or we had a customer who wants to send newsletter from a third-party software or over AXM, which doesn't work properly until today. My solution for that is all out of the box. All services needed for that are from Sitecore. I don't know why Sitecore don't offer such a solution out of the box, but maybe they wait for me, and maybe I will explain that later, because there are huge problems to get this to work. I'm pretty sure that this concept is the right way, and if you want to become a contributor on this module, or you have any needs or something else, feel free to contact me. There's much to do on to end this EXM madness. So let's go. That's the agenda. Yeah, it looks a lot, but I speed up to go fast through that. I think the most exciting part is the demo here. So just a few words about me. My name is Dirk Scheffauer. I'm a Sitecore Senior Solution Architect at Kamau IDC GmbH. Most of you will probably know me. If not, today is a great chance for that. I have more than 50 years programming experience. I don't count anymore because I felt like I'm the founder of the internet. Since July 2011 at Kamau IDC GmbH, formerly known as Indeka GmbH, but we had a great joint venture with Kamau, and now we are part of the Schwarz Group, one of the biggest companies in Europe. They make more money a year than Microsoft. This is really awesome. 8 years experience in Sitecore. I started with 6.5. Sitecore 7, 8, 9 certified for sure. I'm waiting for the Sitecore 10 certification. Located in the beautiful city Heilbronn in Germany. Married, 2 kids. The girl is 8, the boy is 4, and I have a cute dog, as you can see. But no worries, this is not mine. This is mine, with his best and most loyal mate friends of life. But now we'll get down to the business stuff. The marketing preference center. A short question straight ahead, but I don't know if we can handle questions here at the moment. I don't think most of you knows about the marketing preference center, and I don't think any one of you use it in production because it's a hidden secret. Some facts about the marketing preference center. It was introduced in Sitecore 9.1, and it's a great way to handle newsletter preferences or marketing preferences. It's multi-site compatible. You can create custom landing pages. You can create custom preferences for each manager route. You can mix the preferences between the manager route. Custom service messages for each manager route as well. And you can have a different look of the preference center for each site. And that's the funny part of that. You can put in your own JavaScript there to do some magic if you want to have it. Yeah, but the question is, but how do I get there? This is a sample newsletter from Habitat. And as you can see, the yellow marked part, there's a link to this preference center, but Habitat itself doesn't make use of the preference center. Habitat Home has some preferences as well in their forms. The newsletter is still the same, but Habitat Home assigns pattern cards to the contexts and put them into marketing automation plans. Complex stuff is happening there, but hey, that was the birth of my module. I saw that and I want to make use of it. So, but the question was, how do we get there? That's how the preference center looks like out of the box. These are the default marketing categories. Yeah. The preference center in the Sitecore backend, I will show that later, is a collection of 12 fields which are all put together with tokens in the preference and the layout HTML field. So you are always be able to handle the look and feel of the preference center in a site context because it's defined on the manager route itself. So you can define everything here, you can modify everything here, and it's all put together in one field. I show that later. Yeah, one of the greatest guys in EXM. I give you a second to read it. Steve McGill is one of the best EXM experts out there. And as I said, with Sitecore 9.1, the preference center was officially released. In my opinion, it is also this much needed extra layer to send emails to contacts who have registered for special categories or preferences. However, I don't think that it's easy to adapt the appearance of the preference center because it's a rich text field, you know, to the look and feel of the website. The preference center itself consists of 12 fields that can or should be individually adapted. You will not have any Sitecore logic. It's just static HTML. Transferring this to your own MVC rendering and making it similar configurable is not that easy, I can tell you. but they might be the next step in the evolution of my module, because the moment further links, such as the entire navigation of a page or something else, can be stored as static links in the preference center layout field. But what if the navigation changes? So that are things you have to keep in mind and reduce the preference center to the minimum what it should do. And yeah, Pete Navarra, who knows this guy? He's the guru of EXM, and he brings it to the point. Every customer has their own wishes and requirements. Individual requirements may have to be adapted or expanded, but one question: why is Sitecore bringing out such a cool feature and there's no easy way to use it? Pete addresses the API. Everything is only possible via APIs and asynchronous calls. For me, these were rather practical services that use the APIs to do what the preference center itself does. As always, when you want to know how Sitecore works internally, the decompiler was a great help. And yes, all services I used internally in my module are from Sitecore. Still the question: why don't they provide a way out of the box to subscribe to marketing categories? Understanding how it works in reality wasn't really not that easy. The concept. We've already had difficult requirements from customers who have already pushed us to the limits of EXM, or mostly even to the limits of the list manager. We also had a very special requirement that newsletters were sent via a special built API. The customer selects the desired clients in his CRM, and the newsletter, which is public and approved, and then he sends us a JSON via our own API, which we then use to send the newsletter. This is another concept that I don't want to go in deeper into here, because it doesn't work probably since about 3 years and dozens of Sitecore support tickets. As Pete said, sending newsletters is often very individual and tailored to customer requirements. I had my own idea, the cool way, which actually doesn't exist. I want, you know what I tell my children when they start a sentence with I want? I usually answer, I want is not an available option, sorry. I would like to have would be a better start if you want to have something. If then they only say like thirst, give me a mark, or are you serious? I often get annoyed. My sentences are formulated with I want, especially for that. So notice the headline. I also left out the can you please or can I have, it doesn't exist at Sitecore either. Do it yourself is the topic. So I would like to offer the contact the opportunity to subscribe to marketing categories. And these marketing categories can be assigned to any manager route. I would like to use a selectable contact list as the basis for segmented lists, because I don't want to have all contacts from Sitecore. It should be a special list, and I want to use this list to filter the contacts. Yes, and I want to use double opt-in because of GDPR. We are in Europe and we have many restrictions about receiving newsletters or anything else. I want a Sitecore Forms backend where I can freely select a manager route and a contact list. So not all countries have such strong GDPR restrictions as the countries in Europe. So the double opt-in setting is configurable. You can set it by setting in the config file. If the double opt-in setting is set to true, the submit action should add the contact to the selected contact list. Otherwise, the preference will always be saved. I would like to be able to identify the contact. That was the hardest part at the module, so that the form behaves similar to the preference center. Hopefully, I can show you that later in the live demo. I want to identify the contact and select his preferences in the form, same way as the preference center it does. Now comes the hardest part. I want a form that responds to the behavior of a known contact with conditions and safety concerns. So what are these safety concerns? What the fuck? It should be safe that not a foreign person is able to change another contact's preferences only by entering an email address. This case is handled by the module. It took some time, but it is handled. If the current contact doesn't match the contact identifier of the email address, you will get an error message. So much I want. Creation of a form template and form elements regarding the mentioned conditions. Security should always be guaranteed, as nobody should be able to change someone else's settings by entering an email address. Yes, and now jump from the bridge would be an option. But it's not the best way. The simple idea. Since a subscription form is necessary anyway to do the whole magic, all magic should happen over the form. That is a custom Sitecore forms field which allow you to select any manager route and a contact list for double opt-in. After saving, the marketing categories assigned to the manager route are displayed as a checkbox list. A custom submit action that evaluates the field and saves the selected preferences on the contact. The contact should be identified as a custom field as well. So the module consists of two fields, is known contact and the marketing preferences field. The form should then behave like the preference center. Easy, isn't it? I like this guy. You will see him now more often. I like this guy. Yeah, every beginning is difficult. It was really not easy. I developed this since a year. The focus was initially on the custom form element, which should display all the manager routes in the instance. Yeah, my Sitecore speak skills were not the best. It's always hard to develop with Sitecore rocks and anything else. The first solution should be a drop-down list with a simple query on the content DB that determines all items with the manager route template. But it was a Sitecore bug. Yeah. You know all these tickets, isn't it? Based on the provided information, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they were not able to bind dynamic data on the item. So yeah, I stuck into this one. It was really hard for me to get calm with speak and do that stuff, and you always have broken links and you don't know if you do things right, or I always think, did I something wrong? I don't believe it, and I waste hours and hours until you imagine, damn it, it's a bug. Yeah, that was not so good. Custom form element. Yeah, here we go. We get deeper. All suggested workarounds from Sitecore support doesn't work for me. Maybe that's the reason they provided no out-of-the-box solution, because of the bugs in the backend. So I have to try another solution. I want to have a tree list in the Sitecore Forms backend. Have you ever seen a tree list in the Sitecore Forms backend? Maybe the first time you will see such a Sitecore Forms field. Yeah, I have to find another solution for that. I dreamed of Speak for 3 days. Tree view, is it possible in a Sitecore Forms backend? I dreamed another day about that. As on ice, bite through, just do it. So yes, I did it. The evolution of the forms fields. The drop-down list became a tree view, as you can see here on the right side, and it works great. A tree view is ideally suited to restrict to basic templates. So I would be able to restrict the base templates, which are shown here on the right side, to just to the manager root template. Complex structures can be mapped. And here you can see the fields in the Sitecore backend. That's the subscription form template, which comes out of the box with my module. You can see the fields on the right side. And at the current state of the module, all items are allowed. So you may have complex structures where your manager roots are nested in different sites, like I think about SXA solution or anything else. But you can restrict them if you want to. The submit action. Yeah, what should the submit action be able to do? She should determine the selected manager root in the backend, in the Sitecore Forms backend. Determine and validate selected contact list. That's important because you only have to select normal contact list, not segmented lists. This will be a part which I talk about later. So segmented lists are not allowed. She should identify a contact or create a new contact. Set personal information like first name or last name, but first name or last name are not mandatory in my form. It must be checked whether the contact is already on the list, and the action should put the selected marketing categories on the contact. No one else should be able to change categories using someone else's email address. If double opt-in is used, the contact should receive a confirmation mail. We will see that later. if all categories are deselected, it's an equivalent to unsubscribe from all. So you will be unsubscribed from the global opt-out list, which is defined on the current manager route. Yeah, sounds like a lot of logic, and yes, it is. And here's my friend again. The subscription form. I took the Habitat website as a starter kit, as I always does it with a new website. Habitat should be always a starter kit. No, I'm just kidding. But it was good. There was some styling and a simple form consisting of the marketing preferences checkbox list field, an area that contains the fields first name, last name, email, and is hidden and this would be hidden if it's a known contact. The field is known contact, which identifies the contact, and for sure the submit button with the submit action that saves the preferences on the contact. I will show the backend later. And a second page that will be displayed when the form has been submitted, such small, yeah, we have received your request, blah, blah, blah. The section personal information. The personal information fields are surrounded by a section. The fields are hidden if it's a known contact or if you come back to the same page again. There's a small magic in the form, which is not quite perfect, but it does its job. So that was, how should I say, that was the need of the second field to identify a contact to make that condition working. It has a condition if the is known contact field is true. And if it's true, I will hide that section. This is the condition. The submit action gives you the possibility to map the form fields on the data model of the action. The data model is internally used to store personal information on the contact facets. So you will have to define the first name field, the last name field, and the email field. So now comes the exciting part, segmented lists. Segmented lists are based on the rules engine. They are perfect for filtering contacts into different lists. They can have multiple source lists, or you can use all your contacts in your analytics database. It can filter them. And of course, they can also be used as a recipient list in EXM. So now we come to the demo time. Please excuse my service messages, landing pages, everything else are based on Habitat now, and they are not designed very well. They only should show the workflow of the concept. So here we go. The first point is your manager route should be configured well. So everything like base URL, preview base URL, which should point to your CD server. all your landing pages, which I added here, should be configured on the manager route. Also, sender message, header, no reply to, and everything else should be configured. And here you can see on the manager route, these are the fields such like the logo, the marketing category groups. I will show you where they're located. Normally, they are under taxonomy, marketing categories, and here you can add new marketing category groups. And that's what this field is pointing to. You have a title, you have an intro, you have, this is the most important field. I will show you that because I don't know if it's the best way, but Sitecore decided to do that like this. As you can see, you have here tokens, which are later replaced by the other fields. But you are very free to do design every field as you like to have it and to fit it to your customer needs. And here, what I said, that's a really funny part. You can put in your own JavaScript here if you do something magic. I don't know. Yeah, then let's switch to the form. This is my, let me get back. If you want to create, if you install the module, you will have here a newsletter subscription template, which creates a form like this one here. And as you can see, this is my field. Hopefully it's the first time you see 3 lists in the Sitecore Forms backend. So I can choose a list here. I can choose manager routes here. I can go through the whole tree if there are manager routes are nested. So, but I want to have this one. And here is the forms section. There's the condition where I have my, if the field is known contact is equal to true, hide the form section. This is the is known contact field. It has the magic only in the backend, so it just indicates if the contact is this one who registered to newsletter subscriptions. Yeah, so here's the sample message from Habitat where you can get to the default email preference sender. Yeah, so let's test it. Ah. Give me a second. Yeah, so here we go. I have a subscription page where my formula is there. So, and I will register now. To this it's really fast. Oh, sorry again. So, and as you can see, I get a confirmation because the double opt-in is activated. So my preferences are updated now. We can see that here in the global subscription list. This is the base of the double opt-in, and as you can see, here's hello at SUG Hungary. So now comes the funny part of all of that. You see that premium was some kind of test before I present that stuff. And I have now subscribed to the products thing. So I will create now a new segmented list. And I will a segmented list from an existing list, and I will take my global subscription list. And you have here the list segments. I will create a new list segment. I always turned off this checkbox. I don't know why. So now I can work with rules. And as you can see, there's a rule where I can say where the contact has subscribed to marketing preference, product updates from the manager route, email. Okay, save. And now happens the magic. If I save the list, oh, I have to give a list name, product updates, save. And as you can see, instantly, without indexing, without any more, my contact is into this segmented list. So now here's the point where it's an easy game, because I can use those segmented lists to send emails. So let me see, do I have a draft? No, I do not have a draft, but that's no problem. Let's create a new one. So recipients, I will take my product updates list, which I created now. No more needed. Save it. Yeah, and just let to send the message. Wait a second. Ah, here we go. It's already there. Yeah, that was much more theory than the practices, isn't it? Maybe we can talk about it later. But as you can see, one moment. I will show you one thing. Yeah, no, that was it. Everything is in place. Send newsletter. Yes. Okay. To-dos. Yes, it's not a panacea, but it's a cool way. The more you will play around with it, the more ideas you will get, because you are always free to create categories as you want. The base is done at the moment, and we now have to see how it works in production. But we already have this module in production on 2 customers of us, and it works great. They are so happy now at the moment. Yeah, here are my to-dos. What if there's no speak anymore? Sitecore announced that they want to drop speak. So if they want to drop speak, we have to take a look what comes next. So how the Sitecore Forms backend will look like. Personalization is always, as I can only send at the moment service messages, I'm not sure if I can personalize them. That would be an option, maybe over tokens or something else. Yes, and the module is currently only compatibility with Sitecore 9.2. So that would be my next hard work in the next days to get it to up to 9.3. I have a great guy who said he wants to help me on that. So if you want to be a contributor, don't don't hesitate to contact me. And for sure, Sitecore 10 compatibility. That's a thing for Europe. Maybe the newsletter form should have a consent field for do not track. Then you can explicit say, okay, I want to have that newsletter, but if I check this checkbox, I don't want to be tracked. So maybe that's an idea. I don't know if I should implement this. So I'm done. I said 45 minutes. I'm on 33 minutes. Well done. Do you have any questions? It's in the practice, it's easier than in the theory. Yeah. Yeah, it will be released in the next week, I think. I have to write some installation guide about that and what you have to keep in mind. And I have a few to-dos which I will do with the next release. And yeah, then it will go open source and will be on the Sitecore marketplace, and everyone of you can make use of it. Sure. Yes, for sure.